12:21 p.m. Early dismissal. Bastian gulped down lunch. There was a phone right outside the cafeteria. He jammed in the coin and punched in the number to his house. "I'm sorry," a voice said. "The number you have called, 555-7134, has been disconnected. Please." He hung up the phone. Disconnected? All at once it hit him. He was moving. Bastian walked down the hallway and out the front door of the school. Nobody tried to stop him. Nobody said, "Where do you think you're going, young man?" He couldn't believe how easy it was. He strolled past the flagpole and down the street. The skies had grown heavy with clouds, and the air smelled like rain. He had no idea where he was going, and he didn't care. His feet kept moving, and he just walked. He walked past a young woman washing her car. She waved at him, and he waved back. In the front yard, Bastian saw a little boy playing ball with a bulldog. Barkley. For the 100th time that day, he tried not to think about the puppy, but not thinking had turned out to be a lot harder than he'd ever imagined. He went past a Catholic school, Our Lady of Sorrows, and stopped to watch the kids playing soccer on the playground. They were all wearing uniforms, boys in slacks and white shirts, girls in identical tweed skirts and white blouses. A couple hundred kids, and he didn't know a single one of them. He knew that moving to Hawaii would feel exactly like this. No friends, hundreds of strange kids. Most of them would stay apart, watching, checking him out from a distance. He would go through his own kind of quarantine. He left Our Lady of Sorrows and walked to the end of Walden Street. The Galleria Mall was down the street to the right, but his feet didn't turn that way. Instead, they turned left and began carrying him toward his house. At first, going home and seeing Barkley seemed like a terrific idea, but he couldn't do it. He sailed past his own street, heading straight toward the house of his best friend, John Leclerc. He got to the house and rang the doorbell. "Yeah," John's voice came through a crack in the door. "Hello," Bastian said in his deepest voice. "This is James Warren, the district truant officer. Are you John Leclerc? Open the door. I have a warrant for your arrest. I have a report that you are playing hooky from school today. Don't you realize that's against the law?" "Bastian!" John laughed and swung open the door. Bastian followed him inside. "You're the last person I expected to see. I thought you were having tons of awesome fun in school. Your last day of school." "John, you won't believe this," Bastian said, following John into the kitchen. "Mr. Fab's out today, right? But they didn't send us a sub. They screwed up in the office or something. We got no teacher in the class." "Yeah, sure," John said. He opened the refrigerator door and looked inside, and I bet they put free video games in all the classrooms, huh? "I don't think so." "I'm serious. I'm telling you, we've been all alone all day. I swear, John, alone. For a while, it looked like Jessica was going to squeal, but she didn't. It's awesome." "Alone? We're running the class ourselves. We've got a new motto. Kids rule." John shut the refrigerator. "I don't believe this," he said. "It's wild," Bastian said. "I'm telling you, this day will go down in history. You've missed a lot of fun, but the day's not over yet. Come to school. Karen's playing Little Miss Teacher. That's why we need you. You've got to help us party." "I'm coming," John yelled. He ran toward his bedroom. "Just let me get my shoes." "All right," Bastian called after him. "This afternoon we're going to crank up the music." "Wait," John said, carrying his shoes into the kitchen. "They won't let me back into school without a note." "Don't worry," Bastian said. "You want a note? I'll give you a note. I'll give you a great note. Give me some paper." John gave him a sheet of paper, and Bastian sat down to write. "Good thing I've got perfect penmanship," Bastian said, as he carefully formed the letters. He laughed. "Yes, sir. You've had a miraculous recovery." "Come on," John said. "Hurry up." 12:30 p.m. Recess. Rachel stood on the playground watching the other kids. She heard a plane in the distance. The air smelled like rain. She thought of her father. He was a tall man, all elbows and knees, with dark bushy eyebrows. He'd left home when Rachel was in 4th grade. He and Mom had been arguing, and their fight seemed to grow more ferocious with each new day. Finally, Rachel couldn't take it anymore. One day she burst into their bedroom and started shouting at them, "Stop it! Stop arguing! You should hear yourselves. It's pathetic that two grown-ups should act the way you do. It's disgusting." Dad and Mom looked at her. They looked at each other. "She's right," Dad said to Mom. The next day he moved out. He moved west. A few months later, he bought a small cattle farm in New Mexico. He'd been living there ever since. She only saw him twice a year now, and there were many days when she missed him terribly. His silly stories, goofy songs, magic tricks that were so amateurish, even a baby could figure them out. The rain smell reminded her of one summer day he took her to a playground. It started pouring out rain, but they didn't leave. Instead, they stayed on the swings, singing at the top of their lungs while their clothes got soaked. "Why flying?" Mr. Snickenberger had asked her. "Why is flying so important to you?" "If I could fly, I could see my father whenever I want," she thought. But she never said this, not even to Mom. She kept replaying this sequence of events. Her parents argued, she scolded them, then Dad left. 1, 2, 3. Even now, she had the nagging thought that in some way her scolding had been the catalyst for his moving out. Those fights had been horrible, but she wished he was still living at home. Arguments or not, she wished she had kept her mouth shut. Back then, it had never occurred to her that she had the right to remain silent.